What's the fastest duo time in the world for beating hardcore on wrecked battlefield? According to the website that tracks speedrunning records, which is appropriately called speedrun.com, it's 54 minutes and 52 seconds. Well, not anymore. And no, this is not a hack time. This is the actual time that Charrky and I finished in after 15 attempts using the crown hardcore strategy. The purpose of this video is to not only show you that it is possible, but also to help you avoid the pitfalls that we suffered from so that you can accomplish this in less than 15 tries. The great news about this strategy is that it only requires 2 special towers. One person has to have the golden pyromancer and both people have to have the accelerator. As long as you have those, you can definitely give this a shot. And on that note, I'm throwing down the gauntlet right now to issue you a challenge. Try and beat our time of 31 minutes and 48 seconds. And the funny thing about this challenge is that it's already been beaten by the creators of the strat. They are the ones and onlys Omega and Cliche. They beat us by 8 seconds at 31 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm gonna link the strategy itself and their video down in the description.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Well, but great. In doing the research for this video, I found Master Strat creator Wither Star's video with the legend Megalodon running a similar strat that actually let them finish in 29 minutes and 41 seconds. But hey, these are professional speedrunners. Charrky and I are not. So I think our time is still pretty impressive, and I still want you guys to try and beat it. I mean, even I'm gonna go back and try to beat my time. I also want to add that a lot of these speedrunning strategies are highly affected by RNG. This means that you might die just because of bad mystery spawns. One time we even died because the gravedigger just kept stomping over and over and over, stunning our accelerators so that we couldn't do any damage to him. Now I'm gonna let this entire video play out and I will drop in and let you know what I learned at the important parts. And just so you know, I was player 1, so of course all of my advice is gonna be primarily for player 1. And the first big piece of advice I have for you guys is to have just one player skip and always be ready for the skip. If you do this enough times, you're gonna learn when the skips are coming. This is important because I probably gave up like 15 seconds just by skipping 1 second late 15 times. Okay, here's the first piece of advice I have for you. Where exactly you place this ace is going to determine how much damage you take in these early waves. You can put yours where I put mine, or you can place it a little closer to the wall. When I did that, it seemed like it was able to shoot more enemies before they got into our base, so we took a little less damage. Now be sure to get that pyro down as soon as possible so you don't take too much damage. This is the only other part in the game where you should really take damage. We do take some damage here, but that's not normal, so this is just RNG. For whatever reason, the pyro didn't kill all of the invisibles. Upgrading your ace to level 3 at the start of wave 18 is extremely important. Usually when I forgot to do this, we died to the lead boss. Here, we just happened to get lucky and I didn't have to do it, but trust me, I would have regretted it in any other game. Here is the only time I deviated from the strategy. Instead of upgrading my other ace pilot in the back to level 4, I placed another one at the front. You're gonna see that I still go ahead and upgrade that back ace just so it can help kill the shadow bosses. Now going back to this front ace, the placement is very important. For all of our failed runs, I put them too much in the middle of this front elevated area, and as soon as I started placing them where I put this one, we won the game. The main reason for this is because you need to put as many accelerators in the middle of this area as possible, and when the ace pilots are in the way, you can't do that. So what happens is you end up doing less total damage. Just be sure to place the ace pilots right up against that mountain. You can see here that Charrky isn't putting the commanders exactly where they were in the strategy. That's just something he learned to do from our 15 failed attempts. I think the commanders were easier for him to click on here since they didn't have the accelerators right above them. This first fallen titan here killed us a couple of times. Either he'd stun our accels or they wouldn't lock onto him so they wouldn't do enough damage. This is why you want to keep the accelerators and the ace pilots in the back so they can kill this dude when he gets back there with hopefully not too much help. For these first two accelerators I placed down, I'd upgrade one to level 4 before placing the next one. You can also try maxing the first one before you place the second one. Maxing an accelerator definitely allows you to do much more damage, which allows you to make more money in hardcore since there's no cash sharing. As I said earlier, Gravedigger RNG can be really bad. What you want is for him to spawn instead of stun. That way you can kill him quickly and get all the monies to max the DJ. I went ahead and decided to place a max level medic here even though it's not in the strat, just to clear his stun because you really do not want the Gravedigger to get away from this area. And by clearing that stun, I allowed the accelerators to get back to killing him right away. Alright, now at this point, player 1 is just going to be placing and maxing accelerators. Again, be sure to max one before you place the next one. Wow, he just had to get that final stun in there, didn't he? Alright, now that all of my accelerators are maxed, I'm going to start spamming max level medics. I'm going to go over how you're actually going to use the medics on the final wave, but for now, all you need to know is that they're actually going to be used for the damage they can do. So be sure to place them on the very right side of this elevated front area. That way their generic accelerator beam can reach the enemies right when they spawn, which adds to your total damage output. This is one of the key things I was messing up on during our losing games, because to kill the Void Reaver before it gets to your base requires you doing as much damage as possible. And now the aces are going down, and this is the single biggest thing I was messing up on when we were losing. You cannot underestimate how much damage these ace pilots do on this turn. It makes it so they're almost constantly attacking. And since the max level ace has a DPS of 163, this turn makes that tower one of the most powerful towers in the game. Now, since you already have two on the elevated area, I'd recommend putting all the rest of them down around this turn on the ground and up on the edge of the elevated area. And maybe you can place one at the next turn, which is what I do in this game. Again, the army of ace pilots really helps to kill the Vindicators and the Unknowns on the final wave, which are the only challenges besides the Void Reaver itself. Finally, we arrive at wave 50. There are two important messages I have for you on this wave. The first one is about player 2's pyros. Those come in so clutch for taking stuns from the Vindicators and Void Reaver, so make sure you have them down. Now, the second important thing is that player 1 has to do something that I never did on my losing attempts, but as soon as I did it here, we won. Don't worry about trying to find which medic has an ability ready. Literally just pick one and do what I do. Stare at the ground, use the ability, sell the tower, replace the tower, max the tower, and use the ability again, and then repeat the process. Do not worry about what's happening in the game. Do not even worry about if your towers are stunned or not. When you do this, you're going to give your Accels as much time to do damage as possible, which is what you really need to get down to fighting just the Void Reaver as soon as possible. And this is one of the keys to the entire strategy. You have got to get the Void Reaver to half health before he moves through your gauntlet, because once he starts running, he is going to go Sonic fast, which you're going to see happen here, and he can easily get outside the range of your towers and kill you. So trust in yourself, trust in the medic, and don't even watch the game until it's just the Void Reaver left. Okay, so I know there's a lot of keys to this strategy, and here's one more. You need to rotate your towers when the Void Reaver gets to about 800,000 health. You're going to do it at that point because that's when he moves within the range of the accelerators on this back raised area, and you want to rotate him early rather than late so you can focus on chaining call to arms or using the medic ability to unstun once he starts running. Trust me, it's worth it to rotate early while he's still moving really slowly. And besides all of that, I'd say you can rotate some ace pilots for extra damage, which is what you're going to see me doing here. Just be sure to pay attention to when the Void Reaver stuns so you don't miss the clear with the medic. And that's all the advice I have for you guys. Enjoy the rest of the show. If you enjoyed this epic content, go ahead and smash that like button with your forehead, hit the subscribe button with your big toe, and turn on notifications however you can so you don't miss any of my amazing upcoming content. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, be safe, and never forget what I always say, peace.